Hi everyone! Massage Monday tip for today. I'm going to do a full body massage on my partner Brett and just show you some moves that you can do so that you can do this at home. So we'll try to keep things nice and simple so that everyone can try it out. And if you have any questions about anything else that you'd like to see, just let us know and we can always incorporate that in future videos for you. So first you might want to try setting the room a little bit. So dim the lights and draw curtains. You can light a candle or use a rock salt lamp. Throw some essential oils in a diffuser, or you can even use it for the massage. And then I like to use either coconut oil or grapeseed oil for the massage, but you can use anything else. Just know if you use something like olive oil, it is going to smell like olive oil. So you don't need too much. And then you can just have the person lay on the bed, or if they want to lay on the floor, they can, but the bed might be a little bit more comfortable for you as the person massaging them. So I'm just going to apply the oil. I told him to just lay however is most comfortable for him. So he has his arms up by his head. But if it's more comfortable, arms by your sides, whatever is most comfortable for the person who's laying down. So some really easy movements. This one in massage school we called the tree. So here you have the roots of the tree and you go along, the scapula bones are right here. So we're just going along the scapula bones and we're just going along these big muscle groups along next to the spine. They're called your erector spinae. So we have the spine right here. We're not putting any pressure on the spine. We're just right next to it. And then you've got the branches of the tree and the leaves over here. And you can see I just used my thumbs in a circular motion at the bottom. So we bring it forward and then we branch out. So this is a really easy move that feels really good, and it just helps warm up that back really easily. If you do by any chance with your arms go over these scapula bones, it's okay because you actually have your trap muscle that goes right over it, so you're not going to hurt the person by going on the bone. Just try and keep pressure off the spine itself. And then I'm also using the palm of my hand to put pressure along his back. So it's not just in my fingers and it's not just in this part of my hand, it's actually also this bottom part of my palm. If you're feeling like you need to get in a little bit deeper, you can even use the knuckles. And again, I'm just going here next to the spine, but I'm not on the spine at all. And then we just branch out. And again. So those are some pretty easy moves that you can do. I also sometimes like to use my knuckles here on the shoulders. So this is quite easy because I can actually put my elbow into my body and then I can just lean forward. So I'm actually not using I'm not doing any work and I'm not using any pressure. I'm just leaning. So this is a really easy way to kind of get in a little bit deeper for them without you actually having to do much work. You could use your fingers if you want. It might feel like your fingers get quite tired. So that's why I like to use the fists. But the person that's, getting the massage can also communicate with you at any point and just say, hey, this feels good, or that doesn't feel so great, or maybe try this. So feel free to speak up if you're getting massaged. And then just doing some pinching as well here on the shoulders. So now I'm just getting down on my knees and just kind of pinching that trap a little bit. I can use my palms to just go inwards and outwards. So these are some just really basic, easy moves that you can do on the back. You can go over to the sides if you want, and even do some cross fiber movements. So I'm just literally just going back and forth. I'm putting most of the pressure once again on the bottom. You can even just do one side at a time if you want. And you can even push upwards if you want to get forwards. And you can do, once again, the pinching of the trap, which the technique is called petrissage, and you can do it from a different angle. So this might even feel easier for you. And then obviously we've got the bed on the other side, so I can't really get onto the other side. So all I would do is just ask Brett to turn over so that his head is now where his feet were and his feet where his head was, so that I could work the other side. So, you know, feel free to ask the person to kind of move around to make it a little bit easier. Obviously, we don't have massage tables at home, so. All right, so now we're gonna massage the arm. So I'm gonna massage the arm face down. So Brett has his arm just dangling off the side of the bed. And I'm just applying some oil. We're just trying to get onto the bottom of it as well. So this is quite easy because you can just kind of pull the muscle in the arm a little bit. So I'm just holding it and pulling. You can also use a fist if you want, if you find that that's a little bit easier. Or you can use your fingers. So your bicep muscle, you can actually kind of spread apart. So you can put both of these fingers all like right through the bicep muscle. So I'm just putting those two along the bicep. And we're just going right down along the muscle fibers. You can also do a little bit of petrissage, which is just this pinching motion here. It feels really good in the deltoid, so you can kind of just kind of do this cross fiber action here in the deltoid. We're constantly using these arm muscles, so all of this will just feel really good. You can even just use your palm to massage. So you can go downwards or you can go upwards. Generally in massage, we try to massage towards the heart. We're bringing blood towards the heart, but obviously not everyone has a massage table, so there's going to be some situations where it might actually just be easier for the room that you're in or the bed that they're laying on for you to go downwards. So whichever way feels easier and more comfortable. And then we'll get down into this forearm. And now I'm just kind of using my fingers here. I'm not using the tip of my finger, I'm just using the whole flat bit. This here, these are some really great computer muscles. They get really tight. So just kind of trying to go along it, you'll be able to feel where it's really tight. You can even see he's having some twitching here of the muscle up top. And so that just means that we're right on the spot. So you should have seen that was just a little twitch there. I'm just using the thumbs just to spread all of those joints around and get some movement flowing. You can get up in here, in between these pads. That always feels really good. You've got some really nice tight muscles here in your thumb because we use our thumbs so much. And then you can also massage this forearm. So, you know, whatever is easiest for the scenario you're in, whether it's massaging towards the hand or ideally, if it's possible, upwards towards the heart. And I'm just using my palm. I'm not really doing much work. I'm using my body weight, so I'm not really putting that much pressure. And we're just kind of moving upwards. All right, so now we're gonna move towards the leg. So we're just gonna apply some oil onto the leg. I had Brett just tuck his shorts into his underwear just so I don't get any oil on it, but you know, whatever is easiest. If you want to try draping, you can always, you know, put a blanket over their backside so that you don't have to risk getting any oil on any clothes, and you don't have to risk exposing them at all. So all of these muscle fibers are all along going up and down. So we'll just start going along the muscle fibers. So I'm literally just using a flat palm and putting the pressure on the palm. My arm is straight and I'm just using my body weight to lean forward. So I'm not actually having to push, I'm not doing a lot of pressure, and I'm not really having to use my hands at all, just the palm. So this is a nice way to get in. Usually the calves are more sensitive than the hamstrings, so you don't want to go too deep with the calves when you first start. Another option that you have with the calves is doing that pinching style of petrissage. So we're just grabbing it. I'm not really digging my fingers into it though. It's just a very loose motion. So not grabbing it like this, because this will feel quite intense for the person, but it's more of this fluid motion. You can even do this cross fiber. It's like almost like a snake bite. You probably experienced that if you had siblings as when you were a kid, but instead with the oil, it actually feels really nice. And then also the squeezing. So you can squeeze the muscle, and then I'm just using my palms to just do this circular motion upwards. So all of those are really good options. Your calf muscles are two big muscles called the gastrocs that come here, and then they have a kind of a crevice here that divides the two muscles. So you can even, you know, use your thumbs to lightly go in between that crevice. That always feels really nice as well. Just don't go too deep, because like I said, the calves can be quite sensitive. And then just here in the hamstrings, using that, you can use your palm. This is a great area to also use your fist. So I'm going to use my fist, and then I'm going to use my other hand to just guide it, just to make sure that, you know, we're not flying around anywhere. So just moving upwards. So we're just going along those muscle fibers, and I'm just using my hand to guide it. Now, for anyone who does a lot of running or walking or hiking, you know, here you have your IT band, and your IT band can be really sensitive. So you will not want to use your fist on the IT band, because that will really hurt. So try to just use your palm on the IT band, and definitely start light, and then you can ease into it being a little bit deeper. But if you go straight into the fist, that's not going to feel good. And then here, if you want, you can do a little bit of cross fiber too. So I'm just kind of falling forward, or you can even go this way, and you can kind of incorporate that IT band into it as well. And then get that whole leg involved. All right, so now I had Brett turn over so we can do the front side of his body. So we'll start with the front side of his leg. As you can see, Brett works outside quite a lot, so we've got some nice tan lines to work with as well. And if you are massaging anyone who has quite hairy legs, you might want to use some extra oil just so that it doesn't feel like you're pulling their hairs. And I'm gonna get that foot involved as well. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the heel of my hand to go here around the front of the shin. So I'm not gonna be putting pressure on the shin bone itself, but just going around the sides, and then around the patella, which is his kneecap here. I'm not going to go onto it, but just go around it. And then I'm going to use the heel of my hand to just get into that quad a little bit. I really like using my fingers when it comes to the shins over here, just because the muscles are not as big as, for example, either the calves or the quads. And also you can kind of get in a little bit deeper. So here we have his shin bone. So I'm going to go here to the side. So I'm not going to the inside, I'm going to the outside. So the shin bone's here. I'm going just right next to the shin bone. So I'll just point, this is the shin bone here. I'm going just right next to it with my thumb. And I'm just putting just a little bit of pressure. So that feels really great. You can also just come here to the side of the shin and then just move downwards. So I'm just doing a little bit of cross fiber action here in the shin. That always feels really nice. If the person that you are massaging is getting outside to go running as daily exercise while we're in quarantine, this will feel really great. So the bone is here. I'm not really putting pressure on the bone, just right next to it and moving downwards. And I'm using both of my thumbs because they are a bit stronger, but if you want, you could use your fists, or you could even use your other hand to kind of help your thumb if your thumb feels a little too weak. And then here in the quad, you can use your palm, or if you want, you can use a fist, but you'll want to ease into it because the quads can be quite sensitive. So fists, and then I'm using my other hand to just guide it, just to make sure that I'm not, flying around everywhere, but keeping it stable. So try starting with, maybe a lighter or more medium pressure before getting in to anything too deep, because like I said, the quads can be quite sensitive. And then here you have your adductors. So what I can do is I can have Brett bend his leg a little bit so I can get into the adductors a little bit, and then just doing that cross fiber motion feels really nice for those adductors. You can even do some pulling motion if you want. Or you can do the pushing motion. So generally, when you're massaging someone, you don't really need to keep track of how many strokes you do, but if you feel like that's really going to help you with it, then just choose a certain amount of strokes that you want to do and just count that for each area of the body, so that way you can have the massage last a little bit longer or last a little bit less time. So we're going to get into the foot now. We'll be releasing another video with foot reflexology. So for now, I'll just show you kind of a general foot massage that you can do. So we've got the heel right here. It feels really nice to just use your hand here to scoop the heel and then just kind of do almost like a pinching motion inwards. And then the inner arc that you have right here, feels nice to get that thumb to just go along it. So I like to go like this. Sometimes if the person has really dry feet, you might need to try mixing a little bit of lotion with your oil to have it have a bit of a glide. So this is a really easy one. You can also use your fist. This is always great. So I'm just going to use my fist to go up and down. I'm not really using the knuckle part, more of this flat part right here. You can also grab the foot with both hands so you can get the other side. And then I also really love just kind of dividing these pads here. So I'm just using my thumb just to go in between all the different pads for all of your toes. I always think that feels really nice, or even just using your thumb to go along on top of the pads. That always feels really nice as well. So you can kind of switch it up and try different things with the foot. This is usually the area that people are the most comfortable massaging themselves because we oftentimes either massage our own feet or massage our partner's feet. And so this is a little bit, people feel a little more comfortable with massaging the feet versus other parts of the body. So just do whatever feels best. You know what feels good on your feet and try to replicate that on the person that you're massaging. All right, so now I'm just gonna get the pecs and the neck. So I'll use my fingers to just spread those pec muscles apart. And just know if you are massaging a woman, you know, even though we have breasts, we also have pecs. So you just want to be a little bit, you know, above the breast area, but you can still get in. So here we've got his collarbone, so you can get into the areas right over here. So basically, if she has a blanket that's covering her, you'll want to massage the area that's outside the blanket. And then I'm going to now use my fingers to massage along the occipital ridge. So Brett, I'll just have you turn your head for a second. So here for the occipital ridge, we've got your skull right here, and then right when the skull ends and the neck muscles attach, that is called your occipital ridge. So I'm just going to use my fingers to just kind of scoop that area. So as you can see here, I'm using mostly my middle finger to just massage along that occipital ridge. So I'm just right under the bone. And then you'll have their head up. This feels really great for anyone who has neck soreness. And then, you know, your thumb will obviously be separate, so you can kind of have your thumb massage along a little bit, but most of the pressure is going to be on those fingers that are underneath that occipital ridge. So that's a really great technique. And then we can also use our fingers to kind of pinch along, and then we can also use our fingers to massage upwards along the muscle fibers up towards the occipital ridge. Now, if you're feeling like you want to get a little bit deeper and it doesn't feel like you can with your fingers, you can always try fists. So I just use my fists upwards. You don't need to go too far, so you don't need to go all the way here to the shoulder bones. You can just start right here from the middle and then just upwards. Just keep it nice and easy. Now remember that he's got, you know, the spine part of his neck back in the middle, so you don't want your fist to go all the way to the middle to push against the spine. So we're just doing it here to the sides. You can see I'm not having to move the camera at all for you to see it. You can actually see exactly where my fist is, so I'm not really underneath the neck too far. And then if I am going to go under the neck, I'll just use my hands to scoop in. And then just finish off with a nice little scalp massage. So we've got the temples right over here, so it feels really nice using the thumbs on the temples, but you don't want to do too much pressure. And then, you know, just use your fingers to get into the scalp. This is another area like the feet that we're pretty used to massaging other people, so you'll know where to go and what to do. You can do it a little bit like you're shampooing someone's hair.